Hey, you guys, and welcome to my page. My name is Shika, aka Lady Will, and I've decided to start adding content to my YouTube page. Primarily, I will be talking about my love for motorcycles and how I started my journey, and then how it's going, and how it started and how it's going. The conversation pretty much took off with my husband asking me, do I want to ride the motorcycles, and I was like, no, no, thank you, no, thank you. So he was like, we should really give it a try. We should look into it. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I kind of then paid attention, if you will. And maybe a few more months later, he was like, so what do you think? We should go for it or not? And I was like, go for what? What are we talking about? And he was like, riding motorcycles. And I was like, so you serious? Okay. So I started doing some researching, and just to figure out how do we get started riding a motorcycle, because I've never ridden anything outside of a pedal bike. My husband, he rode on dirt bikes for a while when he was younger, so he was a little bit more familiar with the process than I was. So me being me, I like to research and research and research and research. So I Googled how to ride a motorcycle, and a couple things came up stating the MSF course and things of that nature. Now, at the time, I had no idea what type of bike, how I was going to get there, and or any of that. So, after a couple months of researching, I started Googling. I started YouTubing some things on how to ride a motorcycle. And one of the things that I was looking for is beginners. What should we do? How should we go about riding a motorcycle? So, a lot of the content that was on YouTube, especially for female riders, they were already seasoned. When I say seasoned, I guess anything after a year or two or three, depending on how much seat time, as I will come to learn it will be called, that you have, depending on where you at in your level of experience. But over time, I will also learn that that definition is kind of skewed too. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So one of the things I was trying to figure out, what should I do? Where should I start? So I decided that because a lot of that information wasn't ready available, I decided I will provide it for you. So my husband and I initially signed up for the course in, I believe, April. We both caught COVID, so we had to reschedule. And then we did another, we signed up for another class. I think it was in May. I want to say the end of May. So initial course, I was so confused. The one thing that bothered me the most is I'm a thinker. And when the guy was telling me to look where I want to go, but the motorcycle was straight up, that just did not that did not add up for me. So I had a hard time trying to do that. So much so that I actually failed the course the first time. So I was okay with it because to me it was my husband's idea and his bucket list. So for me it was no harm, no foul. However, as we rolled back home, I had this nagging feeling like, so you just gonna let this beat you? That's it. That's it. You just gonna let this beat you? And I'm thinking to myself the whole way down, the whole hour and a half way home, I'm like, girl, ain't nobody ride no motorcycles. You know this wasn't your thing anyway, so why is you thinking about it? Why are you steady worrying yourself about this doggone motorcycle class and test? So after a couple of weeks, it just kept weighing on me, like, go do it again. Don't leave that unfinished. If you don't get a motorcycle, oh well, but you don't fail anything and then just leave it without trying it again. So I scheduled another session. My husband came for moral support. My session was free. Harley Davidson has the thing where if you don't pass it the first time, you get to come in the second time for free. Now I don't know how many times after that, but my husband had to pay the $250 for his moral support. So we ended up going through, and this time I was a little bit more familiar because I had done more research, watched a lot of videos, on how the slow speed maneuvers and the overall basic operation of the motorcycle. And I have to credit that a lot of that to Robert Simmons, paying it forward YouTube page. I think when I started watching his video, I don't remember when, but it was his first video when he did some circles around the parking lot. So, and I kind of saw how he was operating it, and it was like, oh, okay, so that made sense. Okay, so this does that and that. So initially, those 3 days or 2.5 days was not enough for me, because for me, I need to understand the why. You can't just tell me to do it and then expect me to do it. I mean, my brain, it just don't operate like, I need to know why I'm doing it. So, of course, like I said, I failed. But the second time, I passed with fine colors, because now I understood the why and what I need to be doing. So, after passing the class, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, whatever. So now here comes this other nagging feeling about, girl, let's go get this motorcycle and go. I'm like, no, 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 no. It was only supposed to be a check the block, remember? So 2 weeks after me getting my license, in August, I believe it was, my husband and I, we went down to Harley Davidson and Macon just to browse, and I fell in love with my bike. Okay, so the first day we went down there, we was just looking, and then I just kept thinking about it. So I did more research on the size bike I should get. So there was a bunch of people saying, hey, you should start off small and work yourself up and all this other stuff. So my husband and I are both retired military. We weren't planning on buying bikes after bikes after bikes. So we was this one shot, one kill type of thing. So when we went back, I was like, yeah, I want that one. And that one ended up being a street glide. So there was also this nagging feeling about me, girl, did you just buy this? Are you gonna be able to learn? And so I had so many thoughts going through my head. So I went in on YouTube and I searched women in Harleys, and the first person that came up was Queen Sit. So she was riding the road glide, and I was like, okay, well, she's a little taller and a lot skinnier than me. You know, I'm up there sizing her up. Like, if she can hold this bike up, then I can too. So, and that was just the gist of it that made me feel comfortable about my decision. So I looked at pretty much all of Queen Sit's video, and I think at that point she had been riding for maybe 3 years. I want to say 2 or 3 years, and I learned a lot from her. One is just that, hey, we can do it too. So that was mainly my comfort right there. Also, my other video that I looked at was official Mac of difference between the road glide and the street glide. I don't like the look of the road glide. I just think it's hideous to me, but that's just me. I don't. I love the street glide. So once he was also a deciding factor, just distinguishing the different types of motorcycles. One of my things is again, mentally, the road glide, if I turn the handlebars, I don't want to see this thing standing up like this. So to me, it would have messed with me mentally, because when I turn, I want something to turn. So that was some of the deciding factors as well. So as time go on and my YouTube develops, I've got quite a few videos that are on my GoPro and my Insta360. I will talk about that and what made me decide to go with some of the Insta360s and the GoPros. So I'm trying this thing out. I'm new to YouTube. I've been watching YouTube forever, all the YouTubers forever and ever and ever. So it was a little scary to say that I'm going to start putting videos on here. But hey, here we go. My journey. All right, y'all stay tuned. Lay around for it. Lady will. All right, y'all. I decided to give y'all just a little glimpse at Boss. That's Boss right there, aka Boss Lady, aka what y'all see? Lady Will. Y'all see her. Y'all see her. I'm telling you, I'm so in love with this bike. I guess I can give y'all a little startup, cold start. Let's see here. Let me see what we got going on. Oh yeah, and I did do my music too, but that's a whole nother video. I did some upgrades and all of that too. So here we go. just a little sample. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there for now. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. Y'all lay around for it. Lady Will. Peace.